Hello beautiful people and welcome to the channel A Life After Narc. My name's Debbie and I talk about all things to do with narcissistic, abusive and toxic relationships, as well as looking at healing from them. And in today's video I'm going to look at the nastiness of the devaluation and the discard from the narcissist. I experienced a lot of nastiness in my relationship with my next and my previous next from many years ago. And it can be so hurtful and so painful. They become like children. They become like 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old toddlers having a temper tantrum, and they will say the most horrendous things to you that they possibly can. While they may think it or not, I'm unsure, but they will say it deliberately to hurt you. And that's what this video is about. So if you enjoy the video, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So the devaluation, we've met, we've had our relationship, we've gotten married, we've, long-term relationship, we've committed to each other. And soon after, the devaluation begins. And this starts off in small little ways. For example, oh, your cooking's not very good. My mother cooked better. It's a devaluation. It's saying that you're not as good as my mum. And you may not see that as being a devaluation at first. You may try and live up to their mother's cooking or abilities. But you do take it in. It is there. It does reside within you. It rests there and it becomes part of this never-ending cycle of abuse that the narcissist will perpetrate on you. Then the gaslighting starts to happen, and there are simple things that can be said around gaslighting that you don't even realize you're being gaslighted. One of the phrases that, watch out for this, and this is not just partners that say this, but it can be other people as well. One of the phrases is, I knew you were going to react like that. So let's say you're having a disagreement and the narcissist says something to you. We'll go back to the cooking analogy. My mother's cooking is better than yours. You need to learn to cook like my mom. And you said, okay, so now I'm going to learn to cook like your mom. And you start to learn and better your cooking skills. Perhaps you go to classes, perhaps you get some new recipes, books, you watch some videos online of how to cook a certain meal, and you try to better yourself in that way so that they will compliment you on your cooking. They won't, they never will. So don't expect that. So let's say in that instance, you've cooked a meal, it could be a Christmas dinner. Let's use Christmas dinner because it's a big meal to make and it's stressful, and there's a lot of dishes and a lot of cooking and involved in it. And they say to you, oh, I don't really like this. And you're like, well, I made this for you and I'm upset now that you don't like it. I did my best and I'm sorry. And you cry. And they turn around to you and say, I knew you were going to react like that. That is gaslighting. They wanted you to react like that. They pushed you to react like that because they knew which buttons to hit. And it will be a common theme. And I'd love to know if you ever heard that when you had reacted in a specific way to them. And it's called reactive abuse. So they say something to you that is abusive and you react back in an abusive manner. You're reacting to their abuse. So you may feel that you're at fault. You may feel that you're to blame, but they have pushed those buttons. Some people call it winding a person up. And you will find, in my experience, and I'm talking about my own experience here, that it is normally men who do that to women. I can't speak for women doing that to men, but within families it's often done. And it could be meant as a joke, but it's not a joke because it's not funny to the person who is being made fun of or targeted or being devalued. I remember certain things in my relationship where it was abusive, but I didn't see it as abuse. My ex wrote a song for me. Actually, the song was about me, and it was horrible. But I laughed along with it. I went along with it because, because I loved him. But every time that song was sung, or even the little ditty tune that he'd written with it, it made me think that I was worthless, that I'm just less than. And when they do eventually discard you, it will be at the worst possible time in your life. You may be sick, going for an operation. You may have lost your job. You may have had a car accident or crashed your car, or you have to move house if you don't live together, or in my case, you've lost your father and he has passed over, and after the funeral, they leave. Now, using that as an example, my narcissistic ex made sure he was at the funeral, made sure he played his part as the loving, doting husband, but then left without a word. And they will do this because they know that it will hurt you. They don't want to sit down and have a grown-up conversation with you because they can't. They can't do that. It's not in their nature to do that. They just want what they want and stuff you. Doesn't matter what you want, doesn't matter how you would prefer to end a relationship. I'm pretty sure that most of us would prefer to end a relationship over a cup of coffee and say, you know what, this is not working. I'm not feeling the love for you that I once felt, and I feel that I need to move on. That's adult. Childish is packing your stuff and taking half of your partner's stuff with you when you leave as the narcissistic ex. As I say, they will leave at the worst possible time in your life, and it's done deliberately because it's going to have the greatest impact on you. They will become nasty and vindictive. They'll make up lies to their friends and family about you, painting themselves as the victim and you as the perpetrator. Some of the things that they may do, and I've got a list here, is take your things and then lie about it, that they don't have your things. They don't have it. Well, I'm still missing a CD, a painting, and a tea towel. And I know the tea towel is very arbitrary, but I have a tea towel collection, which is very sad. But that tea towel was given to me by a friend, a very good friend of mine that I've known for many, many years. And it upsets me because it was given to me specifically with me in mind. They'll not pay outstanding bills or debts, and you'll be left with those bills. They may leave in the middle of a month and say, well, I'm not paying for this month's rent, you can pay it, or the mortgage or whatever. And you're like, whoa, hang on, how am I supposed to come up with that amount of money, to not feel that sort of monetary loss, or, just left with nothing? Perhaps they even press or lay false charges against you. That happened to me. I got a phone call from the police. We need you to come in and speak to you about this. They do that these days. They ask you in the UK. They ask you to come in, to give a statement or whatever, rather than them coming to you. Here in the UK, we are very short on police officers. They will lie to your family and friends, making them enablers. So they will say things to your family members such, I don't know what's wrong with her, she's doing this and that, and I just don't know what to do, painting themselves as the victim and you as the perpetrator. And they do this all the time. They're victim blaming and shaming. They don't want to be recognized as the narcissist. They want you to suffer. This is their supply. You suffering gives them the greatest of pleasure. They'll blame you for everything that went wrong in the relationship, absolutely everything. My ex and I had to move house for various reasons, and it was my fault. The words that I was told was, I never liked this house, I never wanted to live here. But I remember the day that we came to view the house and he was like, oh, look at this kitchen. I can really cook in here. You know, you will find these things coming to light. They'll deny the abuse. No, that never happened. I didn't do that. Meanwhile, you have it written in your diary. You have made notes about it, but they deny it. They'll tell you that they hate you, and they always have. Again, it's to elicit a response from you. They want you to react to them in an abusive way so that they can say, see, I told you so. I said you were like this. There you go. Perhaps they post pictures or videos of you of a sexual content online to damage your reputation. They will tell you horrible things such as you're fat, you're ugly, you're old, you're infertile, you're mentally unstable, you're needy, and XYZ and blah, blah, blah. And it is said to hurt you. It is their childish, wounded child behavior. They act like toddlers. They are nasty. That's it. They are nasty. They are horrible people. And I'm sure if your partner, if you've not had a partner like that in your life, you may know a friend like that. Or a person like that, perhaps they're not your friend. You need to rise above this and realize that you are the victim, that they are the perpetrator, and begin your healing journey. It's hard, it's difficult, it will take you time, but I'm here, I'm with you, I've done it, I'm going through it, I'm living, I'm healing. The best thing you can do is go no contact with them. At first, you will be wanting to know why they've left, what happened, what did I do wrong? And they will tell you all the things that you did wrong, as I've just said in that list. You want to know this because you want to try and fix it. You want to try and fix yourself. But try, if you can, to just cut all ties with them. That's it. Try to communicate with them through email. Try not to use mobile phone, text messaging, or other social media applications. Try to use email, because then you have a record of every single thing that was said. They will probably contact a family member of yours to say they're coming to pick up their things on such and such a date, and that they want your family to be there because they're afraid of you. Meanwhile, they're the one that had you pinned to the floor with their arm around your throat. They will do those things because they are playing the victim. They are painting you as the perpetrator. So by going no contact with them, and yes, I know you've got a lot of things you want to say. I know you've got a lot of things you want to tell them. They don't care. They don't care. It's not even worth your time or effort. Write it down into a journal. That's what I do. I journal. See a therapist if you can. I know that not all of us can afford to see a therapist. I'm lucky that my family have been paying for my therapy sessions for me, because waiting on the NHS you're waiting for 6 months to a year to get therapy. And even then, it's only for a limited time period. But know that every nasty thing that they say is a lie. They are painting themselves to look good. They are saying it to get a rise out of you. They're winding you up. They want you to respond in that abusive way, that reactive abuse, so that they can point and go, see, I told you that she was like this. I told you that this is what she was like. But they were the ones that were doing all of the nasty things before they left. You are worth so much more than that. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you next time. Blessed be.